Hello. I went on a date a couple weeks ago. Our goal was to get a deep dish pizza. But when we got to the place, they said they were only doing takeout. So we ended up at an Italian restaurant. We debated between a medium and a large pizza and settled on the large, but then she decided she wanted to get the garlic bread. So we ordered the garlic bread. When it arrived, we saw that it was sourdough bread. Neither of us were big fans of sourdough. But when I touched it, it was hot. So that was a good sign. I bit into it and realized it was crispy on the outside and the center was soft. I said, okay, it's not bad. But as I bit into it, I realized this is some incredible garlic bread. This was amazing garlic bread. We ended up finishing the whole basket. And right at that point, here comes the waiter with our large pizza. And I thought, oh my goodness, I've filled up on the bread. I don't have room for pizza. Although I had been craving pizza before, I no longer had room for it because I ate all the bread. I was reminded of that story this morning in our men's group. We were looking at Ephesians 3. Paul says he prayed on his knees that Jesus would dwell in their hearts and that they would get power to be filled with the love of Christ. And what does that mean to be filled with the love of Christ? When you're filled with the love of Christ, it's the same as with that bread. You're filled with the bread of life. Jesus is the bread of life. You're filled with the bread and you don't have room for anything else. You don't have a taste for anything else. So when you're filled with Christ, you no longer have anxiety and depression. When you're filled with Christ, you no longer have room for those addictions. When you're filled with Christ, you no longer have to compare yourself with others. When you're filled with Christ, your self-worth doesn't go up and down depending on the opinions of others. If others think highly of you, if others think lowly of you, you're rooted in the love of Christ, so that doesn't sway your opinion of yourself. When you're filled with the love of Christ, you can forgive other people. When you're filled with the love of Christ, you can love your neighbor as you love yourself. So my prayer for you, which is also my prayer for myself, is that you be filled with power so that you can be filled with the love of Christ and understands the depth, the width, and the height of Christ's love.